What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Season 3 NHL 24 Toronto Maple Leafs Franchise Mode Series. As always, thank you guys so much for support on these videos. If you don't mind leaving a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Right now, we're not doing too good in the preseason. 1-3-2, which is kind of strange. Tavares there, actually a leading scorer, 5 points in 6 games. And he's actually been demoted to the third line. So definitely a strange preseason. Last year, guys, the Vancouver Canucks actually won the Stanley Cup. Luckily, we were back in the playoffs. Unfortunately, still no Stanley Cup for us. But we had a pretty solid draft. I think that's honestly an understatement. We got a medium franchise guy, second overall. We got a 70 overall medium elite in the third round. So the future's looking pretty bright for this team. Right here's the franchise guy, Samu Laxo. 84 overall out of the draft. Medium franchise potential. He's a sniper, great shot. I'm playing him first line with Matthews and Marner. We'll see how they do. They're getting a +5 chem boost. Second line, you got Marchessault, Nylander, Yarncroc getting a +2. Nylander's actually been moved to center. Should mention too, shout out to him getting that $11.5 million contract from the Leafs. Actually made a short about a month ago predicting his new contract in NHL 24, and the EA Sim pretty much nailed it. They gave him like $11.57 million for 8 years, which at the time I thought was a little bit high. As it turns out, they pretty much nailed it. So if you guys missed that, check it out. Link in the description. Third line there, you got Matthew Knies, Tavares, JVR. You guys said Knies can't be on the fourth line, so I moved him up. Fourth line there is Lundstrom, Eller, Vetrano. Vetrano playing a little bit low in the lineup, but he's getting some PK time at least. Defensively there, Riley, Pesce, still our top pair. You got Brody, Chicker in second, Martinez, Savard on the bottom. In terms of the goaltending, of course, Swayman's our starter. Joseph Wool there backing him up. Power play 1's actually finally different. I got Laxo out front now. You can see the rest of the guys still there. Power play 2 there. Tavares out front. You got JVR, Marchessault, one of our big signs last summer, Yarncroc, Chicker. That actually looks like a pretty solid second power play, but you know what, guys? I'm going to make one change. Just because Tavares is doing good in the preseason, I wonder if Laxo, instead of being the guy out front, let's put, say, Yarncroc out front, and then we'll make Laxo, make him the finisher there. I feel like that might make more sense, even though he's getting slightly less time. If he's the trigger man, they're passing the puck to him, and then power play 1, Tavares can kind of just get those tips, crash the crease like he has the X Factor for. Hopefully that'll work out. Now, forward power play 1 does have Laxo on. You can see our best players there. Power play 2, -1, but still some good players. PK-wise, we've definitely used some better defensive forwards, like Eller there, Vetrano aren't bad, but they're also not amazing or anything. Tavares and Knies, even Matthews, Marner are on the third unit if we need them, if everyone else is tired. But overall, not bad. Second and third, 3-mans do get -2 chemistry, but hopefully the team can work past that. AHL team. So last year, if you guys forget, they actually won the Calder Cup. Most of the guys coming back. You got Abruzzese there with Minton, Gregor, pretty solid first line. Turachensev, Voigt on the second. I mean, pretty much everyone's like a high 70. Defensively here, you got Bear, who I thought was going to be in the NHL, but he got beat out. Niemela there playing with him. Merkley, Kokkonen, Koster, Jarechek found the AHL. Goaltending-wise, McAnemy, 80 overall starting. Hildeby's a 79 backup, so goaltending very, very strong in the AHL. We'll see if they can run it back here, win 2 straight Calder Cups. And now before we get started with the sim, guys, I'll show you our ratings for this season. As you can see here, we've got 100 offense, 94 defense, 87 goaltending. Hopefully that's good enough to finally win the Leafs Stanley Cup. And I almost forgot, guys, before we get started segment, I gotta look at contract extension. So Yarncroc finally needs one. He was on a great team-friendly deal, $2.1 million. He's now asking for 4. Honestly, that's pretty fair. I feel like we offer him, say, 3.5, he'd say yes. JVR is 36, so I don't have to bring him back. So yeah, Yarncroc here, we'll offer 3.5 for 1 year. If he says yes, I think for an 85, especially guys on the team, that's a pretty good deal. Brody's getting older, same with Martinez. I don't plan on bringing them back, nor do I think I can. I believe those are all 1 year. Lundstrom, honestly, is pretty replaceable. And then goaltending, Swayman, we could look to extend already. He wants $8 million. I mean, he's been good for us. I don't know if I can pay him the $8 million. He is becoming a UFA, though, so we'll see how he plays. If at the deadline he's kind of met, honestly, I might look to trade him and just try and bring in somebody cheaper. And look at this, guys. I just said in the last preseason game, I think Matthews put up 5 points because Tavares was leading score before with like 5, I think, and 6. All of a sudden, it's Matthews 10 and 7. Hopefully, I can keep that going now. There you go, guys. Yarncroc said yes to its extension. And so, at the end of summer now, guys, the record of 20-15-1, which is pretty good, not amazing. We are currently in a wild card spot there in the East. We're actually tied with the Sens for 3rd spot in the division. Luckily, the Atlantic division doesn't seem as stacked this year. AHL team, first in their division again, 17-18-2. They're playing great hockey, as you'd expect from the defending Cup champs. Minton there, almost a point per game. I think next year he finally gets that call-up. NHL squad, Marner, actually our leading scorer, 45 and 36. Okay, so I think we're pretty happy, but hopefully the NHL team can pick it up a little bit here. Wow, look at this trade for guys from the Boston Bruins. Hampus Lindholm in the 3rd for Miknov, who was the guy we just drafted last season, and Fraser Minton. I'm like 99% sure I'm saying no to this. I'm just curious what's Lindholm's rating. 87, so like he's not a bad defenseman, but I don't think it makes sense to give up Miknov, who's going to be a beast. He's already a 72. He's over a point per game in like the KHL or wherever he's supposed to be playing. That's pretty impressive for an 18-year-old. And off the deadline here with an unbelievable record, 40-22-1. We currently have 81 points, first place in the division. We're 1 point back to the Blue Jackets and the Canucks for first in the NHL. So NHL team has really picked it up here since the Christmas break. AHL team's 33-14-4. They're still first there in the division, so can't complain. Both teams playing very good. Aberzizi there, 39-51. NHL-wise, Marner Saline scored 87-63, so very good chance he hits the 100-point mark this season. We'll get to the deadline. I think the team's doing well enough. We don't have to do too big of a splash. Honestly, as well, I said how maybe if Swayman wasn't doing great, I'd trade him, but if his numbers are decent, probably just keep him for a run here. Lindholm already on the block by the Sharks, kind of a funny signing when it happened. Buchnevich, Thomas Chabot, I mean, I don't mind bringing him in. Thomas Hertl, Nugent Hopkins as well. 88 overall, really good contract there for him at $5 million. Konechny, I didn't realize he got signed with the Sharks. Jeez, they made a splash. They signed him and Lindholm back-to-back years. After Lindholm, you got Ovechkin there and Sidney Crosby. Both Ovi and Crosby are on the trade block. That's kind of nuts. Romanov as well, never even got a contract from the Islanders. All right, so before we do anything, we'll see how Swayman's been playing for us. Honestly, a lot of interesting names out there. Definitely want to try and make a move. We got about $5 million cap space, so should really do something here. We got 3 max players, as I showed you guys before. Laxo's already a 90. I didn't even realize that till now. What's his production look like? He's got, are you kidding me? In his rookie season, he's already got 50 points in 63 games. Not doing as crazy as Marner, but still, that's very impressive. He's already added the third eye zone ability there. Couple extra X factors too. The shot there is pretty much perfect. I think he also added all alone and shock and awe. Jeez. And look at Swayman stats here, guys. He's got 906 and 297. So pretty good numbers. They're not amazing though, which is why I don't really think I'd pay him $8 million. I think, yeah, worst case, if we can't get him for, 6.5 or less, I'll just trade his signing rights because I think, an 84 would give us pretty similar numbers behind the defense we have. Plus, we've also got a lot of, good goalies coming up. All right, guys, so right now I'm trying to make a small trade to Seattle Kraken. Jamie Alexiak's on the block. Very solid defensive defenseman. Obviously, he's huge, 6'7", 83 overall. Look at his defensive stats there, 890 awareness, 90 shot block, 88 stick check. Of course, has 5-star physical, too. We're basically making an upgrade here on David Savard. He's actually dropped in rating again to a 79. I think Alexiak really helps with the PK, same with the bottom pair. Sharks' third-round pick here is actually pretty valuable because the Sharks aren't doing great, but brings in Alexiak, helps with the cup run. I think it makes sense. Values per equal. Trades accepted. Okay, so honestly, might be the only trade I make. I was thinking about it, like Thomas Chabot. Similar to not signing Theodore last year. We don't really need him when we got Riley. Nugent Hopkins, I mean, you know what? For $5 million, he's a guy I wouldn't mind in the top 6. We could somehow make it work. Ovi, we don't really need. We got Matthews. We got Laxo, like tons of snipers. Crosby as well. I thought maybe could bring in to help with the PK, but his defensive stats have actually dropped down quite a bit. I'll show you guys. Obviously, Crosby's usually, pretty good all-around player, but looks to have regressed quite a bit, especially physically, only a 3-star. Defensively, the awareness is there, but like shot block, stick check's pretty low. He's kind of slow, so I don't really know if it makes sense to bring him in just for the PK. And this sucks, guys. Marchessault's got 50 points right now in 63 games, and somehow he's dropped in rating to an 83. He is minus 11, but like he's producing, so I don't get that. Maybe because he's turned 35, just got unlucky. Apparently the Sharks traded for Hampus Lindholm. They're now trying to flip him to us. I'm definitely saying no. I'm trying to make a trade happen here for Nuge. Right now I'm looking at Yarncroc and a first. We did just extend him on a pretty team-friendly deal. I mean, a first in Yarncroc for Nuge, again, an 88 on that contract is so good. Right now he's got, what is that, 52 points, 63 games. He's a playmaker, not a 2-way forward, but if you look at it, 89 D awareness, 89 stick check is very solid. I feel like he really fit into that top 6, taking Yarncroc's place. Let's see what the Oilers say here to this. Trades rejected, value isn't there whatsoever. Oh man, like what is Nuge worth to us? Again, that contract's kind of what makes him super valuable in my mind. Do we add... We have a couple thirds next year. Do we add our third? How about now? We're still quite far off. I think if a Nuge trade's going to happen, honestly, it might involve us trading Swayman to them because Swayman does have some value. Maybe we could even extend and trade him because I don't want to, pay him that, but would help keep his value. And then if we can get Nuge back and then, sign some cheaper goalie, I think that's our best move. Alright guys, so the trade deadline's now complete. We just made that one small move for Alexiak, but hopefully not tinkering with the team too much will actually be a positive. Valimaki there going to the Oilers. You got Matthew Joseph to the Devils, Dubé to the Canucks, Thomas Chabot, and Claude Giroux to the Red Wings. Honestly, I would love that. Definitely Eisman stacking up now after last season, trading away like Kane and everybody else. Alex Zetterberg there, a good prospect, goes to the Blues, Zub to the Preds, Justin Poirier to the Flyers, TVR to the Canucks, Kochetkov to the Oilers, Konechny gets dealt to the Bruins for Lindholm. Interesting. That's what the Sharks got back. That's why they're trying to still trade Lindholm. Obviously, they're looking to rebuild. Our trade for Alexiak. Kevin Hayes of the Sabres for Jack Quinn. Oh my goodness, what a return for the Blues. Pavelski actually goes back to the Stars with Ekman Larson and Brendan Lemieux. That's a pretty good trade for the Stars. They had to give up one of the Grieva twins as well as that Gill guy, but not bad. Lucas Dostal there gets traded to the Coyotes for Lawson Krause. Sprong to the Blue Jackets. The other Grieva twin gets traded to the Sharks. It's pretty funny. They're both on the move. Ferraro to the Jets. Cody Glass to the Devils. Seamus Casey there to the Preds. You got Roger McQueen to the Flames. That's a pretty good prospect the Kings gave up just to get Blake Lizotte back on the team. And then the Red Wings also got Tyson Barrie. So I've been making a ton of moves. Obviously, that's a team in our division. We'll see how they make out. And I didn't even realize, but the Red Wings actually gave up Victor Eklund, of course, William Eklund's brother, in that massive trade. Radko Gudas on waivers. 1 year, $4 million, 80 overall. He's got, defensive defenseman there, thunderclap, truculence. Wow. I don't know if we can afford his $4 million contract. If we can, though. You know what? We have Martinez, too. I don't really think it makes sense in case it does mess up the lines. I'm going to say no, but honestly, I was very tempted. All right, guys, start to the trade deadline. Here's an updated look at the team. Decided to actually mix the lines up a little bit just due to, some things I was seeing. So, I'm going to try going top heavy again. Nylander, Matthews, Marner on the top line with a +5. 92, 96, 94. That means Marner, Matthews are both playing like 99s. Nylander's a 97. Laxo on the second line there with Tavares, Marchessault. Tavares is playing too good on the third line, not to give him more minutes. He's got 47 points there and only 15 minutes of ice time. Third line, you got Nyes, Yarncroc, JVR. One issue is the center depth. Yarncroc, though, can play center. He's got 78 faceoffs. I didn't realize that, so hopefully he does okay in that spot. Fourth line there, not changing. In terms of the defense, we got Riley Pesci still in the top pair. Chikrin and Alexiak the second now, with Martinez, Brody on the bottom. They do get a -2, but you got to kind of run your better players. So Chikrin on the bottom pair wouldn't make a ton of sense. Obviously, no change there to the goalies. Now, in terms of special teams, I think the power plays are the same. Penalty kills looking a little bit different now. Alexiak's actually on the first unit. Second unit, I decided to make Matthews Marner. I didn't realize their defensive stats are actually so good. Matthews there, 97 D awareness, 94 stick check. Marner, 94 and 95. That's incredible. Might as well get a bit more ice time. I switched up to defensive pairings as well, so the only negative chemistry we actually get now is the second 3-man. Other than that, though, it's all neutral or positive, which I think obviously is a big plus. And in terms of the AHL team, I think they're still the exact same, so hopefully they can keep playing well. All right, guys, rather than a season now with a record of 50, 30, and 2, I would say after the deadline, we slowed up a little bit. Pretty similar record to the first few months. I think we were just super, super hot during January and February. Still 50 wins on the year, cannot complain. We finished second place there in the division behind the Sabres, who had 110 points. Blue Jackets, Devils over 100. Canucks had 110. So, we're one of the best teams in the league still. AHL-wise, 47, 17, and 4. They're just ridiculous. Winning division there with 98 points. Taking a look at the leading scorers, you got Fraser Minton there, 53 and 68. Again, probably gets called up next season. NHL-wise, Marner did finish with 100 points, 102 to be exact, in 82 games. 80 assists is pretty incredible. We'll see how the rest of the guys did. Matthews there at 108 on, 59 goals, which actually means he slowed down quite a bit because last season he had 72. Nylander had 73 there. Marchessault had 68. I think his plus-minus went up a little bit. Laxo had 67 as a rookie. Not bad at all, plus 25. A good chance to win the Calder. Tavares 63. Yarncroc still put up 50. Same with JVR at 36. He's honestly been a pretty solid producer for us on that third line. Riley, one shy of 50 is not too bad. Chikrin, you'd like to see put up a bit more on a second power play. Nyes 30, getting third line. I'd also like to see him produce. With Toronto 29 and that limited ice time, I think he'll probably take JVR's spot on the third line next year. He's been looking pretty good for us too. So, yeah, overall, really can't complain too much with this team. Goaltending stats, Swayman there at 905. 3 goals against. I'd like it to be under 3. Joseph Wool's stats, still not the greatest. Honestly, we probably could look to get a better backup. AHL-wise, McAnemy there, 914-222. Incredible numbers. Even Hill to be there. Also looking really solid. Behind Minton, you got Merkley at 50 points, a D-man. That's solid. Abrazizi, Verberg there, Dragachensev, mid-40s, Ty Voigt 40. Again, with 68 games played, that's kind of like the equivalent to a 50-point season, so not too bad. Now look at the entire league here, guys. Are you kidding me? Just the Oilers top line. McDavid 118, another Art Ross trophy. Hyman 111, Draisaitl 108. That's ridiculous. Hyman might go up in rating again. You then got Cooch, McKinnon, Panarin, Leo Carlson, Marner on that top page, Braden Point. In terms of goals, McDavid there wins the Maurice Richard was 60. Matthews was 1 shy. But Dar there right behind them was 2 shy. He's a 96 already at 20. I think on the last year of entry level. Look at defensive scoring. Bouchard at 93. Geez, just all Oilers here. That's kind of nuts. And look at this, guys. Alexander Nikisha on the Hurricanes made it to the first page. 62 points. I know we traded from the 1 year. He never did quite that good for us. Goaltending, Demko, 48 wins. Swayman, though, was second with 43. Save percentage for his starters, also Demko, the 916. He'll probably have the goals against 2, and he does, 275. Now, rookie skaters here. Do we get the Calder Trophy? And Cole Eiserman, 68. Laxo, though, one less point, the plus 25. That might do it. I think he might steal it from Eiserman there. It'll definitely be a battle between those two plus Demidov. 65 points, but a -7. And I just realized the Flyers have him and Michkov, so that's probably going to be like a Russian duo. And look at the entire league next here, guys. Buffalo, Vancouver both had 110. But Buffalo there, more regulation overtime wins, get the President's Trophy. You can see we finished 6th the entire league with 102. Again, a solid season for sure. Tampa Bay 13th, kind of gets screwed. Winnipeg squeaks in at the 18th seed, only 88 points. Last in the league, Nashville, 69 points. Not too nice. The Devils there, most goals for, 310. We're pretty close though, like 5th in the league, 297 goals against. We were not one of the best teams, unfortunately. Winnipeg, 236. Kind of like real life this year. Their goals against has been crazy. We're somewhere in the middle. And in the first round here, guys, we have the Florida Panthers. We'll see what their team's looking like. I know they still have Matthew Tkachuk from the preseason. Obviously, it'd be pretty tough to trade him. That'd be definitely be a blockbuster that'd be popping up. They've also got Verhaeghe now in 89 and Barkov still there on that first line with Tkachuk. Reinhardt's there as well, playing with Lundell, Bennett. So the top 6 is solid. Third line's not bad. You know, fourth line's okay. We got more depth for sure. Defensively, they got Forsling, Ekblad, Montour. They actually signed Brady Shea. Mikkola there, Matt Benning. So still not a ton of defensive depth, just like real life. Spencer Knight there, the starter. They got rid of Bobrovsky. Caden Primo actually backing him up. So, I mean, overall, I feel like we're just kind of a better version. I feel like we have more star power at forward, plus we have more depth. Defensively, definitely a bit more depth, and then goaltending, we got the better starter. So, let's see what happens here, guys. First 2 games are in Toronto, and we get a 4-2 win and a 5-0 loss. All right, so 1-1 here. Head to Florida, 5-3 win, take the 2-1 series lead, and a 5-4 OT loss. They're playing us tight. Game 5 back in Toronto is a 3-1 loss. Okay, can we force Game 7? Let's go. 4-2 win. Do or die. I mean, last game was do or die. Do or die again, though, Game 7. Move on here. 3-0 lead early. Matthews, Marner. Matthews actually has 2. 3-1. Benning gets one on the power play. And we hold on. Sam Bennett pulled them within 1. Luckily, though, we're able to hold on there and move on to round 2 of the playoffs. And in round 2, guys, we actually have the Buffalo Sabres. I haven't looked at their team in a while. Curious to see what they're looking like. Marner's got 9.7 games, so continuing the great production from the regular season. And now the Buffalo Sabres here got Dylan Cousins, Tage Thompson, and Patrick Kane on the first line. That's right, Kane returned home. Pretty cool to see. Even though he's an 83, plays a lot better than that. Yeah, 9 points in the first playoff series. You got Skinner on the second line with Kevin Hayes, who they traded for. Zach Benson already in 87. JJ Peterka, Savoy, Tuck. I mean, honestly, tons of depth there. Even, yeah, fourth line, Rosen, Krebs, Middlestat. This team actually might have a bit more depth than us, but again, I like our star power more. Defensively, they got Dahlin and Power still there. Ryan Johnson on the team now in 84, Samuelson 84. Defense is honestly pretty similar. They got like 2 studs like us. They just go on 2 different pairs. Starting goalie Devin Levi's in 88, exact same rating as Swayman. So it's a pretty close matchup. Hopefully we can get lucky. First 2 games are in Buffalo, of course. They did win the division. 2-0 loss game 1. At least, you know, pretty close game. 3-2 loss. Another one just by 1 goal. Head home. We cannot get swept. Come on. And we win Game 3, unfortunately lose Game 4. So, 3-1 series lead for the Sabres. Come on, let's see what happens. Game 5, and that is all she wrote. Are you kidding me? Out in 5 to the Sabres round 2. I mean, at least they won the division. AHL team, don't tell me. They also lost to the Buffalo AHL team, Rochester Americans. They got swept by them, 3-0, round 2 of the playoffs after beating the Rocket there in 5. That is tough. And the playoffs are now complete, guys. The Carolina Hurricanes actually won the Stanley Cup, and the Colorado Eagles there won the Calder. So, did not lose the eventual winner in the Sabres, which is usually the case. Draft lottery. Montreal there, picking 1st overall. That means they're going to get Connor Bedard's cousin, Gavin McKenna. Pretty unfortunate playoff, obviously, losing to the Buffalo Sabres in the NHL and the AHL. Matthews almost a point per game. Take a look and see how everyone else did on this team. Marner also at 11. After that, Laxo's the next best at 7. Nylander only 6. Tavares there at 5. So, definitely some guys, like Morgan Riley at 3 points, has to be better. Swayman at 907, 301. Pretty similar to his regular season stats. Again, I could look to, like, you know, do a sign and trade with him just to make sure we get some value. Next year, guys, looking at the playoff tree. So the Hurricanes beat the Blue Jackets in 6, Devils in 6, who actually somehow are back in the playoffs after all the turmoil last year, trading us the 2nd overall, then, you know, letting us fleece them with the other trade they made. The Hurricanes then beat the Sabres in 7, and the Canucks there in 6. So, good on the Hurricanes and getting their 2nd Stanley Cup. Next year, guys, take a look at the awards. I think we know all the team ones. Individually here, McDavid, 4th Art Ross in 5 years. Absolute domination. He also won the Hart Trophy, which for some reason they don't like to give him as much. Bouchard there gets the James Norris. Benson got the Lady Bing. Laxo did get the Calder. Let's go. It's pretty awesome to see. Aho Conn Smythe. Demko there got the Vezina as we predicted. William Jennings though went to Connor Hellebuck. Hackenpah got the Bill Masterton. Ducks coach Zach Adams. Bedard gets the Selke. Okay, interesting. Don't see that too often. McDavid, Ted Lindsay, and Maurice Richard. Incredible year from him. In terms of the AHL awards, of course, Carter Eagles there at the Calder Cup. We actually won the regular season back-to-back years. So, I mean, that's something to be proud about, I guess, the AHL. Pinelli, most points and MVP. Sakura there, most goals. Rabkin, best rookie. Merkley, best defenseman. All right, we'll take that. Copley, best goalie. Melski, MVP of the playoffs. Also got sportsmanship. Downey, community involvement. And then McEnemy, actually, for the second straight year, lowest goals against. So the AHL team is definitely doing well. Hopefully, we can get at least one more Calder Cup here. And like I was saying, guys, before we get to the draft, I want to extend Swayman. He's asking for 7.5 now for 7, so his price has dropped. Okay, let's offer, I don't know, 7.25. Worst case, like, it's less than 8 if we don't trade him, but I do think I'll be moved on from him. I just don't think he's giving me, like, the elite goalie numbers I need to kind of justify that price. And next year, guys, we'll take a look at retired players. Phil Kessel calls it a career there with the Florida Panthers. Did he keep the Iron Man streak alive? I mean, there's no injuries, so as long as they didn't scratch him, he would have. And it looks like his actually last season was with us. After that, sat out the 2024-25 year, then played in the AHL this season, so kind of strange how that happens. Brent Burns there calls it quits. Zach Parise, of course, had 1 year with us. TJ Oshie, Alex Cloran, Sam Gagne, Foligno. Doesn't look like JVR or any of our guys retiring. Actually, TJ Brody there does call it a career. Okay, 36 years old. And actually with him, guys, Martinez also retired. I made sure to check our team because I knew we had some older players. Okay, so, I mean, I was going to bring back either of them anyway, but now I don't have to feel bad about it. Goaltending, you got nobody. And look at this, guys. We could sign Phil Kessel to be a coach. I think that's pretty funny. If we do need one, I'll definitely do it. And so we're entering the draft now, guys. Unfortunately, we don't have a ton of picks, but I mean, we had a pretty amazing draft last year. I think this year, if we just have an average one, that'll be okay. Gavin McKenna, as we predicted, going to be first overall. You got Rubrick there, actually a high elite. Okay, this guy, I love the last name, Vikingstad. That's so sick. Medium elite, they're going to go third. I mean, you got a lot of medium elites here, at least the top 7. Gem-wise, lots of gems. Anybody going late? Louis Reichel, early second. We actually could have a chance on that guy. And I was sorting it by potentials. Any, like, you know, guys here that could be steals, guarantee medium elites in the 3rd round again. Does not look like it. But honestly, these two guys here, the fact that they got 2 of 4 bars medium elites and they're going like 6th, 7th round, even if they're only, you know, medium 9, that's still like really good that late in the draft. Alright guys, so I'm just going to send to our pick here. I don't really think there's any moves I need to make. Now in the 3rd round here, we could take Martinek, who's got a really good chance to be medium top 6. You've also got this guy here, Timu Malmavera. Could be medium elite, NHL TA, guaranteed 3 years. Alright, so I actually want to get back in, try and take him, but first we'll take Martinek there. 54 medium top 6, not too bad. Now Isaac Lundstrom we're not going to bring back, and offer him in a 5th, the Avs for a 3rd. They said yes, so hopefully we can get that other guy who might be medium elite. Assuming, yeah, I don't think he's been taken yet, so we're getting back in the draft. He's actually the next ranked guy. Malmavera, come on down. And 63 low top 9. Wow. I mean, miss 100% shots you don't take, but definitely we whiffed there bad. And on the 5th round, guys, honestly, the best players for us to take are these two who are both 200s. Let's see, though, if I can trade down a bit. See if the Flyers will give us a 6th and 2 7ths for 2 5ths. I feel like this is super fair. And they say no. So, I mean, I don't really know how you trade down more than that. In this game, it seems really tough to actually get value moving down. So, we'll just have to take these guys early. First one we'll take here, Anthony Arnott is 55 medium 7th. Definitely could have been better. And then the 6th round here, we'll take Patrick Elias. This is the next one. 49 medium backup. Also, he's a goalie. I mean, we took a chance on those guys. Unfortunately, not as crazy a draft as last season, but I mean, that was probably one of the best drafts I literally ever had in my life. And there we go, guys. Jeremy Swayman did say yes to the extension. Again, I'm probably going to trade him, I think, just because I don't really like paying goalies that much in this game. I think you guys know that if you've been watching me for a while. Nylander here actually dropped in rating from a 92 to a 90, so I think that's how we got to keep him that first line, try and get him going. How many points did he put up again? 73. Yeah, before that it was always 80 plus, so probably going to go top-heavy first line. Although Laxo, 90 medium franchise, he also needs the minutes. So it'll be interesting. As long as I guess he's got good guys to play with, maybe it won't be too bad. Nylander is on the 2nd. So looking at it here, who do we need to extend? Alexiak could bring back. Solid bottom pair guy. $5 million bucks, though. I don't know about that. JVR is now 37. even though he was producing, it's going to get really risky paying him. I think we got young players coming up. I'm going to let him go. He could, sign with his brother. Alexiak, I think I'm also going to let go. Now looking at the defense, Ethan Berry probably do need to be on the bottom pairing next season. He did his time in the AHL, $800K for 2 years. That's actually such a good contract if he says yes. Niemela hopefully will jump in rating. He wants $800K as well for 2 years. And now look at the goaltenders here. Probably going to trade one of Lennon and McAdamy, Hildeby. It doesn't make sense to have all three, especially going to give Liv a contract here. And now one thing I did just notice, luckily with Toronto there, didn't lose any of his overall, still an 84. Yarncroc there. Marchessault, like we mentioned, dropped. Probably going to look to move him this summer just to clear up some cap space. Minton's now at 82, so definitely playing the NHL. Matthew Knies dropped to 81. He was playing third line, but he only put up 30 points. I felt like Lars Eller was a pretty solid fourth line center for us, but he's also dropped in rating now at 37, so we'll let him go. Ty Voigt could potentially be a cheap third line winger. If we can get him for like 3 years, $850K, that'd be nuts. And there we go, guys. Ethan Bear said yes to that contract. Again, $800K for him, I think, is a steal. And I want to say pretty much the rest of these deals are just AHL, so we actually are going to have some money here to bring in a couple more defensemen, which we desperately need. All right, guys, we're at the free agency period. Curious to see who's available. We do have some money. Trevor Zegras would actually cost us all of our money. Could also get Petey. 94 overall, he wants $14 million. We have 14.4. We'd have no defense at that point, but we would have probably the best top six in the NHL. It wouldn't even be close. I mean, could be kind of like the opposite of Sundin going to Vancouver, Petey going to Toronto. Zegras also wanting 14.5 is pretty crazy. I mean, he did put up almost 100 points last year. I think that's 99. Connor Garland's now at 88, wanting 10.8. What the heck? He had 72 points last year. He must have been playing on line with Pedersen. You got Jenner there, wants 8.8. I guess he thinks he is an all-star. Crosby's available. I mean, that'd be kind of interesting, honestly. Could get him rather than making that trade for Nuge. He's 38 now. Still, though, last year had 78 points. Looks like Ovechkin did resign. Kane's available as well. Let's take a look at defensemen, as that's the main thing we need. Lundqvist there's an RFA. Ferraro. Jacob Trouba's actually a free agent now. Matheson. Jake Wallman. Honestly, these guys want a lot of money based on their overall. Josh Manson, as I say that, 2.5 from 83. If we play him bottom pair, he's defensive defenseman there with really solid defensive stats, pretty solid physical as well. Honestly, it'd be like a cheaper replacement there for Lexiak, same rating, literally wants half the money. Probably play him on the bottom pair with Ethan Bear. We still need a second pairing guy though to play with Chychrun. Could drop in rating, so I think I'd rather just overpay this year to get him. 1 year, 275, see what he says. And now looking at goaltenders here, you got Gustin as the best one. Carter Hart wants $8 million to 86. So Gustafson 86, $4 million bucks. He was a backup last year. But he had 928, 256. Pretty solid numbers as a starter. Below 900. I mean, the Wild I don't think were that good though. I'm also looking at Vamelka here. 912 as a backup on the Sabres last season. Before that, 907 as a starter for the Coyotes when they had a losing record. Could get him for even cheaper than Gustafson. Honestly, guys, what I'm thinking right now is we sign Gustafson, then we trade Swayman for a top 4 defenseman. Probably makes the most sense. So Washington's also interested. Let's see if we can get him for 3 years here at 4.25. So we're saving $3 million bucks on Swayman, but if he gives us, identical numbers, it's an important $3 million. We'll take a look at two-way goalies here as well. Pelche, 1975 high starter. What? 4th round pick by the Penguins? You're telling me this guy didn't get signed? Alrighty, I don't know what the Penguins are thinking. We'll also check two-way skaters in general here, guys, see what's available. 20, 56, low top 6. I mean, we have the contract spots. If he somehow just randomly grows, it's worth it. Tobias Heinen in here, 2024 third round pick by the Canadiens, 2068 medium top 9. Another guy you'd kind of expect them to sign, so we might as well take a chance. Same goes for Sasa Stujov here. I didn't even notice him. 2277 medium top 9. That's actually like a really good player for the Ducks to let go. He should end up being at least like, an 80, I'd think. Tried 900K there for 3 years. Also Simon Zether, a Montreal Canadiens second round pick, 2024. What are the Canadians thinking? All right, we'll do a max deal there because that's actually pretty good prospect. And look at this, guys. I noticed Fedor Svechkov's available. 23 years old, 80 overall, wants almost $2 million bucks. Thing is, he's the ultimate defensive player. Like, are you kidding me? That guy is just unstoppable on the PK on the 4th line. We've had him before. He's basically a cheat code in that regard. Let's see. So 2 years he gets cheaper. Let's try 3 years here at 1.5. If this would cost us nothing, it would. We'll do that. The Preds most likely match. Might as well take a chance. And you know what, guys? I think I am going to make an offer on Crosby here. My thinking is we sign him and then trade Swayman for a top 4 defenseman. We probably move on from Marchessault as well. We'll definitely just do 1 year here. And like, I don't know, 5.75. Play him with Tavares would be kind of sick. Maybe the rookie on the other wing. Alright, guys. So Heinen here accepted an offer. He was just one of the two-way players. Same with Wanvig there. I just noticed he's 6'5". Hopefully can turn into like a solid power forward. Josh Manson said yes. Okay, so I think he really helps out the bottom D pair. Still need a top 4 guy. Svechkov said yes as of now. Most likely though, Preds do match. But Stujov also accepted there. Same with Pelche and Zether. So again, we got that really good goalie. Wow, Gustafsson there rejected. Decided to go with the Capitals. So maybe we just hold on to Swayman. Crosby rejected. Not the amount of years he wanted. Okay, but he still is available. Devils wanted Wool there for a 6, which just does not seem worth it. Crosby all of a sudden wants $7 million. I'm guessing because he's one of the better players available now. Also, did his rating go up? I want to say he was like an 86, and he jumped to an 87. Same with Patrick Kane. Very, very interesting. You know what, guys? Maybe rather than go for Crosby, we could actually go for Claude Giroux, asking for $2 million less. He's actually got better passing there, 93. They both had tape to tape. He's a better skater. He still has 90 skating at 38 years old. I think his defensive stats are a bit more well-rounded, a bit better physically still, so he could be a solid option. I think, you know, playing with Tavares, be the playmaker. Same with the rookie. Ottawa is interested in bringing him back. I think 1 year could try like, I don't know, 5.5 million. Could drop in rating, kind of like Marchessault did, but I think with the X factors, makes a bit more sense. Alright guys, now next year I'm trying to make a trade for a defenseman. It's actually Drew Doughty on the block. 1 year left on his $11 million contract. Got them retaining 50%. He's 89 overall, so I wanted a top 4 guy. His role there is top 4, but really his rating's like a top pairing dude. Still has a ton of X factors at 36. You can see there, very solid defensively. He'd be a great addition. Doesn't have a ton of value either, I think, because of both the contract, his age. Like, you'd honestly expect him to, I think, have a bit more. So, getting him kind of pennies on the dollar here, offering up for Toronto. I feel like if we do bring in Giroux, don't really need him on the 4th line. Rather have some cheaper guys. Joseph Wool here, I'm finally letting go of. I know a lot of people like him, but just hasn't been semi well at all. We have some guys that could be the backup instead. Martinek here we just drafted. Decent medium top 6 prospect, plus a 3rd. The value's on our side. We'll see if they retain the contract or not. Trades rejected. Value isn't there whatsoever. And we're trying to win a cup here. We could give up our 2nd instead of a 3rd. See if that'll be enough to get it to go through. They're still saying no. Maybe I could add Noah Ostlund to this trade. We got him pretty cheap. I'm not really sure where he'll eventually fit into our team since we already have, you know, minting called up. So throw him on with Toronto, Wool, Martinek a 2nd. A lot of pieces here, but, you know, Doughty is getting older. See what the Kings say now. Trades rejected. They want to keep the salary. Okay, so we have to have like at least $5 million bucks there for Giroux. I think I actually am going to keep both Swayman and Marchessault at this point. Alright, so I need them to retain at least 6% here so we can afford Giroux. And they said no. I guess we could just hope we still get Giroux, or if he says no, we can still sign him for cheaper after, because I think Doughty's definitely worth this. And they say yes. Okay, so we took him on the full 11 million bucks, but the defense, it needed help. Now we'll see whether or not our Giroux offer can actually get accepted. The Predators there chose to match the offer. That actually gives us 1.5 million. So I think we can now sign Giroux if I'm right about this. No, Giroux didn't offer him enough money. He went with the Islanders instead. Okay, well, we still have some money to spend. 4.7. Crosby's still there. Same with Kane. Also, Zuccarello, who's a very good playmaker in his own right. 94 passing, 90 offensive awareness. Let's see if Zuccarello will take 1 year, $4 million bucks. I think that'd be a pretty good contract for him. Also, too, still need a couple like 4th line forwards, honestly. None of our AHL guys are really that great defensively. Michael McLeod here would actually be a pretty decent 4th line center. 81 overall. Solid defensive stats, 91 faceoffs, physical's not bad, pretty good skater. I'll offer him 1.75 on a 1 year, see what he says. And looking at 2-way players, guys, Brett Berard here, 23.79, medium top 9. Really good hands, might as well give him a contract. Didn't get signed by the Rangers, I think. And honestly, in terms of filling out the 4th line, we could bring Alex Kerfoot back. 81, wants 1.1. Pretty decent defensive stats, good skater. I think for like a cheap player, you're probably not going to get much better than that. He wants 2 years. I'll offer him 1.15. See what he says. All right, so Kerfoot rejected, went with the Panthers instead. Waiting to hear back still from Zuccarello and McLeod. Also, Berard there, the AHL guy, said yes. And Michael McLeod said yes. There we go. Zuccarello, please. Decide to sign with your team, but you want the cap space. Okay, so the McLeod contract must have messed it up. And it did. We now have 3.9 million. Crosby, Kane, still costing too much money for us. So we'll offer Zook here. He's 38. I'm going to offer 1 year, 3.9. And there we go. Zuccarello said yes. So I think we got some pretty good playmakers now, some good snipers. Should have a good mix of players. We do still need, like I said, a 4th line player. Either somebody really good physically or defensively. Blake Wheeler could bring in a vet. His physical stats though are down to 3 stars. And next year, guys, I'm trying to get a good value signing here. David Gustafsson, 26.79, power forward. Just thinking for the 4th line. Physical's good. Defense actually isn't that bad. You'd like the awareness to be a bit higher, but shot blocking, stick checking are pretty good. If he signs a 2-year deal at League Man, I think that's actually a really good contract for us. And there we go, Gustin said yes. Alright guys, we're at the end of the summer now. We still need one more AHL defenseman. There's no good like young players available, so I'm thinking let's just bring in a vet here. Robert Pertuzzo, solid defensively. He'll probably just play like bottom pair or something. But hopefully he'll be like a leader in the locker room there, help the AHL team out. And there we go, he did say yes. Alright guys, so now start next season. I'll show you what the team is looking like. I think the lineup's pretty good. Definitely not exactly what I expected it to be this season. So still going top heavy there. Nylander, Matthews, Marner on the first line. Seconds now, Marchessault, Tavares, and Laxo. The third there, we got Yarncroc, Fraser Minton down in the NHL, and Zuccarello. Fourth line there, you got Matthew Nyes, Michael McLeod, David Gustafson. So tons of depth, tons of star power, good chemistry. Defensively here, we look a lot more solid. Riley Pesci still the top pair. And we now have Doughty Chicken on the second, getting a +4, with Bear and Manson on the bottom pair. I think the D is probably the best it's looked yet. Goaltending wise, Swayman their slower starter. Lennon backing him up is now an 82. So I feel like our goaltending is good. If Lennon continues to grow, I'll then definitely look to move on from Swayman. I also mentioned too I wanted to like trade him for Nuge, but unfortunately Edmonton actually took Nuge off the block, so it wasn't going to happen. In terms of the AHL team, they're still stacked. Like you look at the team, they're pretty much all high 70s, except for Easton Cowan, who's actually now on the team at 74. Defensively here too, mostly high 70s. So no reason why this team can't compete for another Calder Cup. McIntyre is an 80 starter. Hildy be 79 backup. They've also got a couple good AHL goalie scratch. Pelche, high starter potential. Liv there's a medium starter. So definitely could look to move a couple of our goalies as well. Like I mentioned, the team's not exactly what I expected it to be at the start, but I still, I'm pretty happy with it. And we've got some options here. Now in terms of next season, guys, I will show you the ratings. We've got 100 offense again, which is pretty awesome. 94 defense, 88 goaltending. Maybe season 4 is the year we finally win the Stanley Cup. Until then, though, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.